What's up, folks? We'll see who's watching here. I'm gonna hand it in the laptop. And I got the chat. So, figured I'd go live, see what everybody's up to tonight. Anybody's watching. See who's. I'll like my own video, as always. Because, why not? Is there exactly one person watching? So let's share it, see what everybody thinks. Dilly dilly, Wednesday night, cheers, quarantined and fish, take 4. Tons of people are watching. Hey, cheers, brother. Smoking joint. I love that name. That's awesome. How do I like that? Dilly dilly C2O. Yeah, I do. What's up, Rye? What's up, Rye? How's the house going? Do I have a special light for my planted tanks? Not really. LEDs mostly, so that's good. Glad to see everybody in casa. I'm going to share this. Don't even know how I do that. Come hang. Post. We got the 135 here. Lots of fishies coming through. How's everybody doing? What's everybody doing tonight on a Wednesday night? I'm gonna wait for some people to join. Ryan just redid the front walkway in brick and joints. Oh, that's a good project right there, for sure. Jack and Ginger, cheers, Jose. Jose is always here. Dilly dilly. I have been doing random fish tank maintenance, not too much. Sort of sticking with the, my schedule if I can, but I'm definitely slacking on the shrimp tank because they seem to be breeding and doing so good. I don't want to screw anything up, but I have been like constantly scooping out the salvinia and the duckweed for sure. C2O is a long day of work, drinking comes still as I hear that. Fish tube, thank you. What's up, Shrimp Daddy from Idaho Falls? Raya's got another 20 babies in the guppy in that little tiny. Is that in your kitchen? Is that where that tank is? In the kitchen? The planted tank? I know your 75 is sort of like right where your TV is the planted tank. I think it looks like it's to be on your like kitchen counter or something. That could be wrong. Shrimp Daddy's living the pandemic dream. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Here's the pandemic dream right here. I'm fine with the pandemic dream of staying at home. I can work from home. I'm lucky. I can do everything I need from a laptop or a couple monitors. So very, very lucky in that case. But I am missing for my kids, like them seeing their friends, them going to soccer and Girl Scouts and all the sports they do. It's been, for them, watching them and then how I get all worked up about it sucks. But we're doing the right thing. Living room and table. Yep, other side of the same room. Gotcha. Perfecto. Like and share the stream. Not that I need a million people watching, because I'm extremely happy to just talk to Ryan and Shrimp Daddy all night, as well as the C2O and Jose. What else you guys got going here? Usually give it like 10 minutes for the thing to hit before I start saying, you know what? I'm not like a trip. Oh, look at this. Should I move this like over a titch here? There we go. How's that? Better for everybody? That's good. This tank I did water change the other week. I scrubbed some driftwood because while there's not a whole lot of algae on the driftwood and the plecos, the bristlenose do take care of it, I still like to just get with like a toothbrush, scrub all the wood off and work that up, get it into the filter, and then a day later I'll do my water change and my filter maintenance. So here's a good tip for everybody. What do we got? Oh snap, that sucks, Ryan. Yeah, Huckleberry did do that too, jumping around like a crazy dog, but I was like, I'm not bringing the dog to the vet. He like sprained his ankle. Gonna be fine. I'm hoping the same thing is with your dog. Do I put rot stable in your root tabs? I'm sure that meant to say. Nope, no root tabs. Yep, there you go. Essential. Fortunate. Shrimp Daddy is fortunate. Yeah. Thumbs up for that. What was I gonna say? So, good tip for everybody who's cleaning filters, doing water changes on your saltwater, your brackish, your freshwater, your shrimp tanks. What I've learned over many years is what I'll do is do a lot of the brushing and cleaning the day before, and then let all that crap settle, and then the next day when I do my water change, you gravel back all the stuff that's settled to the bottom, maybe do a little bit of scrubbing on your, just like the last tidbit, and then change your filter media, your filter floss, whatever you're doing in your maintenance. And then, boom. Better water changes when you do a little bit of cleaning right the day before. In my opinion. That's how I like to do it. Roger's Aquarium, dilly, and 420. Chill. This bud's for you. So, what else have I been doing? I've been doing a lot of yard work. If I can get no snow or no rain, which is completely ridiculous because Ryan knows it's completely strange. It's not strange for New Englanders, just for the rest of the world. It'll snow in April, and then it'll be 70 degrees the next day, and it'll all melt, and you'll think, hallelujah. And then it'll be windy in 30s, and you're starting the fire up, and then it'll be 75. It's just a mess around here. Sunday's supposed to be in the high 60s, but I was burning last night, and like the rest of the week is supposed to be like rainy and shit, so it sucks. I bubble scrub the 75 and clean the glass, get a lot of this. So I've never bubble scrubbed before, which is interesting for a saltwater. I don't know what actually even that does. I've read tons of, live Facebook or YouTube chats, but I've never actually done it. Yeah, seriously. 4 seasons in one day, no doubt. You know where we live, right? Shrimp Daddy likes to clean and vacuum back gravel with 25% water change on 75, and then about 2 to 3 weeks he cleans his canister filter. Yeah, that's a great routine. I clean my canisters, honestly, either twice a year or just once a year. Or as, like, if you see, like, it was about 7 months I started to see, so this has a 35-gallon sump on this tank, but I also have a FX6 that's pumping out some serious, flow. And I noticed the flow was going down, and it was about 6-7 months, and I was like, time to clean it. Went in there, completely had to clean everything, obviously, except for the biomedia. And there was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 6 crawfish babies, like with no light. They were like super clear, and they were crawling all over everywhere. It was crazy. I do have some pictures. I actually meant to post that like a long time ago. Never did. Just, you know, life happens and you don't post. You don't post, folks. Too much rain sucks. The kids can't go. I know, right? C2O, where you from? Put it down. Do I know you? I hear you though. The one behind me is 135 gallons, and I have a 35-gallon sump, so let's call it 170. And then the FX6 on it, I don't know how many gallons that holds, maybe like one or two, so like 170, 170. It's a cube though, so this right here that you're seeing is the same depth this way, like going all around it. It's awesome. This is my favorite, one of my favorite tanks. Well, you say that about every tank that's working, you know, the tank is working. The water's clear, there's no algae, maintenance is good, and then you love that tank. But then, you know, you love this other tank for another reason, this other tank for another reason. I used to love my 13.5 salt water. Lately it's been driving me nuts because while the water is crystal clear and everything is healthy, and the corals that finally I got like picked out for the light parameters are growing, I'm like, great, this is awesome. And then I get a little cyano and I'm like, oh geez, what the hell. 40, constantly running gorgeous. I gotta knock on some serious wood for that. My 40 always runs awesome. Love that. Ryan doesn't know exactly, but he knows it cleans the crap out of the water column. And if you're having success with it then, right, that's good. Smoking the Jibba says, I've never had a shrimp tank, but I'd be scared to clean a shrimp tank. I feel like I'd mess up all. No, it's pretty good. They're fine. They always like swim away. C2O from NH for a Massel. Alright, brother. I knew that's why. I could feel it. Feel it. James wants to know what kind of school fish that is. These are Buenos Aires tetras. I got them when they were about, I don't know, a quarter to a half inch, and they've been in this tank for, I want to say, almost 2 years, a year and a half at least. And they're about, you know, 3-4 inches. Gorgeous. Like these fish, when I know that camera probably doesn't do it justice, but when you just come up and look at these fish, they have all these sheen like sparkles on them. My daughter loves them. Absolutely beautiful. Carlos says, nice psychedelic wall background. So I'm assuming that's psychedelic. Thank you, Carlos. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Thanks for coming by. Do I use, Dougie says, do I use marine biohome in my canister or sump? No, I do not. I use a lot of sponges, coarse and fine sponges, no carbon, and just biomedia, like ceramic biomedia, because it's easier to clean, and if you need the carbon, then you can go at it a different way that, like in this situation. So it's just strictly sponges, 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 and biomedia that holds my beneficial bacteria. Young Athlete 15, is this the same? Have you changed your name like a trillion times? Had a 5-inch Australian rainbow in my 55. I mean, it could be, probably. If your fish aren't compatible, then definitely one could take a beating. I want to set up a fish tank, but I don't know how to set up water parameters. How would you do it? Christopher, what kind of fish tank are you wanting to set up? Freshwater or saltwater? And if it's freshwater, is it like a tropical community tank that you could get fish at your local fish store or your PetSmart or whatever, or what kind of tank? Right. Yeah, I hear you. Puppy and kids keeping me busy. How many puppies do you have? Because I saw a picture the other day with like 3 pups on your couch, but you just have your original pup and the new pup, or do you have 3 now? Andre asks, how do I keep my plants looking so good? It's all about balance. So I know it's tough to say. Everybody is going to say it. You know, who talks about keeping fish tanks, but when you say balance, it's not a set schedule of this is how long you put your lights on, this is how long or how many fertilizers you dose, this is how this is how that. The balance is not set in stone. You have to figure it out for your own tank. So I always start the lights off at 8 hours. I feel like that's a good idea. You know, filter is filter. You want to filter your tank always. That's the number one. You always want your tank to be crazy filtered. Get that water clean. And then do you or don't you have to dose fertilizers for a planted tank? I'm a big fan of root tabs. Plants are root feeders. The majority, 95% of your plants that you're buying or you're ordering are root feeders, so they feed like root from their roots, just like pretty much every plant on the planet. And so adding in some root tabs I feel is a good start, since they're sort of like a slow release and you can watch your plants react. Are they growing good? Are they not? Liquid fertilizers, I'm not a super fan of, because most likely if you're adding a liquid fertilizer, I would say only 1/10 of it gets in the tank and the rest just gets filtered out, you know, immediately, if not within that hour. So liquid fertilizers, I don't want to knock on anybody selling them because I'm not a scientist and I don't do any scientific experiments. So who knows if they work. For me, I like feeding the substrate. Like Dustin always says with his dirt substrate, like, it's true. If you can get away with not over nutrient your tank, if you will, dirt substrate is the best, because all your plants are going to thrive off that. Like, he's not wrong. Dirt your tanks. Cap them off to keep the dirt down. But eventually you have to replace the nutrients, and I think root tabs are a great choice. Now, I'm going off on a tangent. So I love nutrient-rich substrates, not only for my planted tanks, but for my garden, for my perennials, for my grass. Like, if you can feed the soil, the plants will grow. No doubt. Smoking a jibba. What kind of angelfish is that? I have a koi angelfish. So I love platinums and smoke, and what else? Lace. There's a few others I really like, but these, I picked the ugliest ones at the local fish store when I was setting up this tank, and I'm like, hey, this was in Rhode Island. I live right next to Rhode Island. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont. Like, Massachusetts is basically like minutes away from everything. But this is fish store in Vermont, Rhode Island. I'm like, I want the ugliest angels you have that nobody's gonna pick out. Excuse me. Pointed to me to this tank with about 50 angelfish, and I picked up the most screwed up ones when they were like the size of a quarter, you know, right there. And so, looks like a couple kois, basically all kois, you know, all mixed, crazy ass ones. But you know what? They're super healthy. They eat like a champ. Unbelievable. Love it. Alright, catch up on the chat. I always say that, my boy Mike. What's up, Benny? How you doing? Young athlete has not. Okay, I thought you might have been someone else. I think I'm messing with you with a young Skywalker, maybe. What species is best for a 30-gallon community tank, and how many? Angela, I would go with, start off with some platies, maybe some guppies, whatever type of Cory cats they have maybe at the local fish store, but make sure you get like 5 of them. and just start there and watch them. Make sure you realize how much you have to feed them once a day, folks. One time a day. And how long you have to do your water changes, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the max, maybe, unless you have good filtration. Wave TL, what's up? WY Shrimp Tank, my bad. I thought I said shrimp. Sorry. I also forget your question, Christopher. What was the question? Wyoming still got snow on the ground. Probably Wyoming does. 2 kids and the boys, 8, girl 5, and now 3 dogs. Oh yeah, 3 dogs. Yeah. I know you have 2 kids, dude. Just wondering about how many dogs you had. SJ's and Callie. Oh no, Benny's got Dick. I would let it ride out, Benny. You can use Ruby Reef as one of my favorite things to use. It's copper free, so it's safe for inverts, and just basically ride it out. Like the healthy fish will live. Andre, root tabs, I usually put 1 per every like 3 inches. So if this is maybe a 3-inch circle, and you have maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 plants in here, just put 1 right in the middle, and then I separate them up as best I can. Yeah, floating plants will look great too. I keep texting Racky Poo. I don't know if you guys know River Life. If not, subscribe to him. Cheers. He paints acrylic, and he did this live auction. It was awesome. It was like gambling. I love to gamble. I don't know if that's a Massachusetts thing or a family thing. I love to gamble. And he painted these little tiny things. They're like the size of a card, deck of cards, that dimension. And he was auctioning them off on Facebook, like a live auction. And I happened to join right when he was doing it, and it was so fun. You know, he'd post something up if I was like, hey, I'm getting rid of a picture of this right now. But he had painted it for $10. And then someone would bid 15, and then someone would bid 16, and then someone would bid 25. And before you know it, a little painting like the size of your cell phone, he had up to like $70, $80, $100. It was amazing. And it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. I wish that I could just start an auction right now. Like, what do you want me to auction off? Some plants, a fish tank, all this fishing gear I have left over from Mass Aquariums and all that. My aquarium box crap or what? Rachel! I just totally ignored all the chat and I saw Rachel at the bottom. Rachel's in the house. What? So happy to see you. Hey, what do you think? What do you think of this? This is like my version of the mohawk. Right here. Taking me forever, but I shaved my beard tonight. I was like, screw it. I'm stuck in the house. Let's do something stupid. Shouldn't we? Let's see. What do we got here? Stash Hawk. That's right. I got the Stash Hawk. Alright, where's it? How far are we? I'm afraid because I don't know how to get the water parameters right. Listen, I set up tanks. So Christopher Bauer, I set up my fish tanks. Besides saltwater and freshwater. Okay, saltwater, you need the salinity to be right. The temperature to be right, just the same as you do freshwater. You know, besides the salinity. But there's certain things you have to do to get your fish tank set up and be able to keep fish. But don't stress over parameters that you can't control, like your water. If your tap water is a certain thing, like, just get fish and plants that work with your tap water. Don't try to change the tap water so much. Don't spend all your time trying to fix the water to get the fish you want. It's just, in the long run, it's not going to work. Like, get what fish you can keep with where you're at in your house. If that makes any sense. Dilly dilly rage. I'm doing good. I'm hanging. Ryan just had a bunch of fish emojis. I can't even read that. It looks sort of like a smile. Drilling the Aquarium 40 breeder. I don't drill tanks, ever. You end up spending too much money on tanks trying to practice. So I guess I would grab like a 5 or 10 gallon tank from the $1 per gallon, or if you can get it for nothing from a friend, and just practice drilling. I know once you get that perfect drill bit, you need to definitely be like spraying it with water. Just a spray bottle, not like a dumping, but just get a hair spray bottle and spray it with water constantly while you're drilling if you want to get the cleanest drill, basically. Rachel says Stash Hawk, yep, Joe Exotic style. So here's the thing, my buddy came over, Travis, came over this weekend, and we all stayed so many goddamn feet apart, and we just drank all day, and he watched me putt around, and I got my raised bed all set. I got the 2 yards of loom. He just watched me shovel dirt and fix my whole. He just basically watched me putt around, fed the fire, outside fire, all day, and we had his wife Beth came over. You know, we stayed apart, drank lots of beers, and he just watched me do stuff. And he shaved in a mustache because he's working from home. He's like, "You gotta do something with your beard." I'm like, "Nah, I can't do it. I can't touch it." And then the other night, I went in the shower. I got the fogless mirror, and I'm like, "Nope, not doing it." And then like 2 or 3 nights later, I'm like, "Here we go. Nope, not touching it." And then tonight, my wife of all people, I love her so much. She's like, basically in a nutshell, says, "All right, pussy, get it done, or don't do it, because you know you're gonna go back. Eventually, you have to go back to work. So while you're home, get it done." I was like, "Shit, I'm doing it." Right then, boom. So why not? With the handlebars, I got the Stash Hawk, perfecto. Word up. Stash Hawk in his house. And I don't care, really, what anybody thinks besides my wife and my kids. And then I come downstairs and both my boys, I got 4 kids. The 2 older boys say, "Oh my God, that looks so cool, keep it." Luke, my 4-year-old, is like, "You look weird, can I feel your chin?" And then my 6, almost 7-year-old princess, Lila, she says, "Ew, that's gross, grow your beard back immediately." She's so cute. And she was like, she knew. And even like, I showed a picture to my wife and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm laughing right now. I can't even look at you. I hope your beard grows back instantly." Which, luckily for me, a couple days, boom, back to normal. But it's funny. I had to do it. Yeah, so there's the Joe Dirt look, smoking the J. Yep, Rachel's summer tubs are awesome. I love paying attention to those. What's up, Junior? Oop, where am I here? Is it true if you put live plants in your tank that you don't have to do a lot of water changes? Andre, no. You always have to do good water changes. It's part of your maintenance. Especially if you're keeping fish. There is lots of methods that, you know, you heavily plant a tank, you don't have to do as many water changes, but it's all taking care of the fish, really. So what do the fish need? The plants will survive either way. I've had, like my shrimp tank, I keep postponing water changes because Everything is flourishing and growing, and the water is crystal clear. There's no algae. The fish are the shrimp are bombing around like crazy, breeding, and like everything is fine. And so I'm just like, I can put it up another day because everything is fine. It's basically the eye test for me. You watch your tanks when shit starts to get screwed up, water change, and pay attention for the next couple days and see what happens. Do you have to do more water changes? My saltwater tanks I do once a week, once every 10 days. This one, once every 6 weeks. The shrimp tank is going on 4 weeks. Gunther's 40-gallon breeder and the other thing, every 5 days, because he's a giant cichlid and he shits a ton. I gotta water change that crap, or it's just gonna be filled with shit, basically. Where are we? Rach, anytime. Please. Here's the river. My Racky Poo is in the house. Yep, driftwood is good for your water to soften it, and plecos do love driftwood. They'll gnaw on that all day long, especially when there's like tons of biofilm on there. They'll go crazy on that. But depends on what kind of pleco you have. Some plecos get really big. Some, like the bristlenose, is a really good size to have for basically anything from like a 10, or let's call it a 20, to like a 200 or more. Like bristlenose are perfect. I have 3 in here, one like L whatever that's super rare, that's absolutely gorgeous, that I've transplanted. This is his 3rd tank, and he always makes it. And then I got 2 like your common brownish with the white spot bristlenose that breed every single 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. Babies everywhere, but the problem is I don't have a tank to pull them out and raise them. So what ends up happening is I see babies, on a piece of driftwood or on the glass, and then I don't see them, and it's obvious that I have cichlids in here, angels, geos. They eat them, and an angelfish will eat anything. It'll just go right up to a little piece of driftwood, and if it sees a baby pleco, it'll just be like, a little cheese ball. That looks nice. And I'll just eat it in 2 seconds. That's what happens. No. Hey, Russ, old school Russ. Russ has been around forever. You'll never see a mullet. I don't grow a mullet. At this point, actually, do you really know if I'll grow a mullet? No. Russ wants to know, how many tanks am I down to? 5. I got 5 tanks. Baby guppy, right, you should be able to get out, no problem. What's up, N.E. Endler? Yeah, you're good. You're good, S.J. Albino's perfect. Yeah, angels have a good meal. Thank you, Rach, for stopping by. Thank you, Rack. Rach, if anybody doesn't know, well, I mean, there's 32 people watching, and Rachel has like 1 trillion subscribers, I'm pretty sure. Everybody knows Rachel. But go check out her channel. She has 2 channels. She has her fish keeping channel, and she has her plant channel, Plantaholics, because she loves plants. Go check out both of those. I've watched a lot of plant videos recently since I'm starting like a different. One day I'll put a channel up and you guys will be like, oh wow, I totally knew that. But I grow plants for a lot of years. We'll get to that one day. But she grows lots of awesome plants, aquatic plants, bog plants, greenhouse plants, crazy plants. Oh, Russ, thanks for the super chat, my brother. That is awesome. You know what? What is super weird? I forgot that there even is a super chat. Thanks, Russ. That is badass, son. And I got my new MacBook. For years, I love this thing. It weighs about an ounce. I don't even know how much it weighs. I've been working on one of these big ass heavy laptops, and then I got a new one. I won't say the name, but it worked for a while, but it's just, this is the shit. I love this thing. And now I can finally not use my child's iPad that's a million years old to answer the chat, because I got this MacBook that like runs in like a record time. So thank you so much, Russ, longtime listener and subscriber, for the $5 ha 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 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Dilly dilly. Drink to that for sure. $5 all day. I was thinking about setting up like, if any, seriously, folks, I totally forgot about the super chat. But now that I see it, I should probably set up a super chat, like, GoFundMe thing. Not fund me, but like, every super chat dollar that comes into the chat, I'll donate to, like, I don't know, something COVID or whatever. I don't know. Anybody that needs money. Basically, I could set up a donation. Rachel, hey, VFT looking any better? VFT. Oh, Venus. Rach, so in the bottom, right, like at the bottom of the sphagnum moss, there was 2 heads when I got it. There's now 5, but all the ones that when I got that were like really high, so you get those little tiny ones and you get the ones that are up, they've all turned black and completely died, but I'm keeping that moss nice and moist. I know everybody hates the word moist. Excuse me. It's the BLs. And I keep that water right in the dish so that the moss can suck it up. And the heads in the middle are starting to grow. Just wondering when, like, do you think they'll grow good enough for me to, well, you know where I put it, right next to the south-facing window. And there's ladybugs and stink bugs and all sorts of stuff in everybody's house, you know that. So they should be able to feed themselves, but we'll see. But is that normal? Do you think that's normal? Thanks, Rush. Appreciate it. I tried to give some good tips. Yep. Oh, I'll never run out. I'll never run out of beer, SJ. Yeah, Chromebook. Luckily enough, my oldest, Nate, he's got a Chromebook. Then my next one, Noah, goes on my desktop. Lila, my princess, goes on my old-ass laptop that actually the battery is junk, so it needs to always be plugged in to keep 1%, but she's able to do that while I'm on my work laptop. And then I have a 4-year-old who comes over and is like, can I do schoolwork? How do I write K? And I'm like, seriously? I was just trying to do 1st grade math. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Now you expect me to write the letter K? For real? But, you know, that's been going on for the last 8 weeks. I'm going mental, basically. But I'm managing. My wife's a saint. She's at work right now at the hospital. We're social distancing and homeschooling. And if anybody is a parent that has young kids, not older kids, that are self-sufficient for the most part, you'll feel it. YouTube does get too much money. Yep, okay, Rach. Okay, wait. The traps have a lifespan, which I remember you texted me. They trigger a few times before they lose efficiency. If new heads stay tiny, that means they need more light. Okay. They are staying, well, no, they are growing up towards, but they are really tiny. But this window is south-facing, so it literally gets the most sun out of every part of my house. But I have been keeping a good eye on them. Alright, dormancy. Yeah, so this, right, so it does seem like it's more of a dormant time. I can tell the heads are growing like crazy, which is good. What's up, Jusan? Hey, brother. Oh, Ryan's asking Rach a question about the Venus. Yeah, I do. Stratification. Rachel, I wish I could enter you into this live stream so you could talk about stratification. They need stratification. Alright, that makes more sense. It's early. It is early in the growing season. Stratification means they need a cool period. They need to chill out. Don't you wish you could tell, like, a coworker, a boss, someone that is a family member that's just like busting your ass nonstop? You're like, yo, stratification yourself, son. Seriously, stratify. And they knew what you meant. Rachel, I'm gonna start that up. No doubt. I wish I could. Rach, how do I? No, I'll never figure that out. That'll be impossible. Because I'm on my iPhone. iPhone Live. Who knows when that's gonna run out of batteries? Here. No, could never happen. And I have to download like OBS or something stupid. Anyway, folks, for you people that are going to watch this on the replay, because I upload it and attach AdSense and all that crap, stratification needs a cool-off period. Sort of like a mini vacation. Sort of like if you work 40 hours a week, you want to take a Friday or a Monday off and have a long weekend. And just chill, unplug, revitalize. Stratification, cool-off period. For plants, some plants need to just not be blasted by the sunlight or soaked with water. They need to just like slowly come out. That's how I'm taking it. That's how I like it. Stratify, son. I can't wait. I don't even know how to do it, Rachel. You're gonna have to show me. For real. See? Even Chris says we're all learning about Venus flytraps. Because Rachel, she's a great teacher. So one thing I love about Rachel, she's very patient with people. You know, who knows? Rach may be a giant biatch in her own head. But when people are asking questions about something she's passionate about, she's patient and she'll answer your questions. I am not a patient person. I am trying to be patient. And I am patient with most of my subscribers and listeners, but like I'm very fly by the pants moody type of, you know, Boston asshole. But Rachel, very patient. Happy that she's answering questions. So if anybody else has any questions, ask them. Yes, the pandemic is, no, that's not, no. Sorry, SJ, not how it goes. Oh, Ryan's actually going from seed. Alright, I'll let Rachel do that. What time we got here? Oh, I can actually do 10:15. Not bad. We'll call it pretty soon. Do I have a time on my tank? Yes, all my tanks are definitely timed. Every single light timer. Some more than others, some less than others. Like I said before, you really, really have to figure out your tank. It's not just it's not black and white where lights come on at this time, lights go off at this time. You have to figure it out. When your light schedule is, what you're dosing, if you're not dosing anything, and you just let it run. Like, boom, perfect. That's when you've got balance as far as I'm concerned. It's dilly time. Right? Boom. Just gonna slug this thing. That is good. That is tasty. Let me straighten out the handlebars. My wife's gonna come home tomorrow. She already said she's at work. She's laughing at me. I can't wait to see if she kisses me when she comes home in the morning, or if she's like, I can't take you seriously. I hope she kisses me. Alright, SJ. Peace, mofo. Chris says, great analogy about Rachel. I'm not patient either, and I love plants. I was thinking about becoming a biologist. I grew up in the woods and outdoors, and generally my uncle has a nursery as well. See? You know? I grew up fishing and camping and being in the woods. I also grew up at a really big high school where I played lots of sports. So I'm grateful that I grew up with everything. That whole clicky thing in the 90s, but also being able to be outdoors. Very lucky. I do thank my parents for that. And now I'm hoping to bring my kids up in that same way. They play sports, we go fishing. They do this, we go to camp. They do this, we go here. Also, keeping it all. Before this whole QT thing, we all, the 6 of us, were very close, tried to keep it close anyway, so we've been doing this forever anyway. You're welcome, Rachel. The mustache needs some pork chops. I got the pork. Look at this. Right. Look at this pork chop right here. I was gonna go like way down here, but just getting it to do that, you know, I was like, it took me forever just to even do this, and I can't wait for it to grow back, because honestly, I feel like a tool. In the same sense, I like it, but I don't know, I've got mixed feelings. Alrighty, we ready to bounce out here? Everybody, anybody have any more questions, more crazy questions before I end this quarantine 4 live stream in front of a stone wall, concrete wall, a bunch of dead tapestries. By the way, I'm a deadhead if you didn't know. A half sump, half 2x6 stand, and my 135 South American. Ask them away, folks. I'll answer. Oh, well, lucky you, Ryan. Your wife's a hairdresser. My wife is not a hairdresser, but she has cut the 3 boys' hair. Not mine. It's getting pretty long. Gotta be a couple inches anyway, but I'm no stranger to long hair. I like to grow it out. Done it plenty of times. Nope. No, Ryan. RODI goes for my plants that I love and the saltwater tanks. Fresh water strictly right from the tap. Pour it right into the tank, dump a bunch of dechlorinator in at the same time, never had a problem. I know people like to gas off their water this or that or whatever the heck they do. Oh, Mikey. Hey, Bubba. What's up? What are you doing? Huck has been asleep for the last 3 hours. He had a lot of tennis ball time today and running around, and now he's getting his second win. What's up, Huck? All right, folks. I think it's that time. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Rye stuck around from the start to the beginning. That's why he's a wrench. And he's from my home, Massachusetts. He gets a special shout out. Thanks for Rachel for answering all the Venus flytrap questions. Thanks for Rack for actually just probably coming on and say hi and then leaving, but who gives a F? I don't care. Andrew, I like to get shrimp for my tank, but I have a bit in the, I don't know what that means. Peace, AC3, C2, good stream, see ya. All right, let's close this out. Night, Rye. Stay safe, you too. Kiddos, wifey, reef tank, doggies. Rachel's become a hairdresser. Night, mister. Night, you too, Rach. Peace! I close. Let me get one.